So one by one, this is the writer, director, star, and animator of the entire film, Matty Keel, everybody. This is the man who steals every scene he steps into. Put your hands together for Stepward. She plays one of our two yoga instructors, Hope. Katie LeClaire, everybody. And then a person who made absolutely stunning music, our composer, Dimitri Smith. Hi, Dimitri. I'm Neil Gargiulo. I produced the film and I played a whole bunch of disgusting bugs.
And he listened to me call him at 5 in the morning many nights.
Many times. We
crying, probably.
Roommates, friends.
For a long time.
I love you very much. So we're going to ask a couple of questions up here.
First of all, can I say something?
No. So, yeah, of course.
I think I'll just go sit down here and let Neil moderate.
No, this is your time, please.
I just want to say this day is something I've been looking forward to for the better part of a decade, and the fact that you all made time to come out like really means the world to me. And authentically, this movie is all of my life. So thank you for making the time to come, and I love every single one of you. And now I'm not going to go on.
So my first question, did it mean a lot to you when all of these people came out to see the film?
I'm glad you asked that, because I have a very long and honest response.
So you animated this film entirely. There were no other animators. That's 165,000 plus frames over the course of 4.5 years. Woo! Plus. So talk about where you started and the unexpected challenges that came up throughout the process.
I don't know why, but I feel really weird sitting down.
Would it help if I sat on the floor?
Yeah, sure. Cool. Should I sit down there too?
Yeah,
okay,
great.
Cool.
I don't think there are any rules here.
Okay, cool. It's not good for performance, like, because we're lower.
Yeah.
Right? You're the real performer.
No.
Where's your microphone?
It's wherever it is.
Oh, cool. What was your question?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. How did I start animating it?
How did you start, and then the challenges that came up over the course of time? This was a lengthy process, and one that was kind of isolating.
Well, the real challenge was keeping my sanity the whole time, as you know very well. I knew I wanted to do it, and I wanted to finish it. I'm going to stand up, because... But you stay seated.
Yeah, I don't have the flexibility here.
I was very crazy this whole time because it was too much work, and I needed to finish it because I was like, my life, I wanted to be in a place where I have all my friends that I work with, and LA is impossible, as literally everyone knows here, to get anything made ever. So I was like, we have to do this on our own, and really, like, these are my best friends, the people that I made this movie with, and I really could not have done it without you guys. You guys kept me sane. Like, Seth Word would come over to do voiceover, records anytime. He improvised a lot of that. A lot of that is just Seth talking.
They would never know.
It's like
they thought that was scripted for sure.
No way, I'm not that good of a writer. So the movie is. Seth is not that stupid, obviously, and he's much sweeter. And he actually knows what to say when you...
I'm pretty stupid. No. I'm a pretty dumb guy.
But
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, sure.
I built a career around being an idiot.
Yeah, but intentionally.
Yeah.
That's
I do it
what
on
you should
purpose.
put on your card, is intentional idiot.
Yeah, definitely.
And then same with Dimitri. Dimitri would do music meetings or talks whenever over 5 years, and it was
literally
yeah, it was an insane process. And I would show things to you, and you your feedback would help a lot. Even everybody went above and beyond. I would say all of the characters are me except for Seth Word. Even though Seth and I are very similar in a lot of ways, I think.
Maddie and I used to do this duo called the Man Children that we tried to match each other's energy, but some days when we would go out to film, we were one of us was tired or low energy. And I think that in a way, the dumb character was kind of us being okay, you're tired, well then I'm gonna go double down, and then you're like, okay, then I'll follow you, and then I'll follow you, and then I'll go faster. I'll go faster. And it might not have been funny, but it was at least high energy.
It was at least funny.
Yeah.
That was our character. Was funny enough.
That was what we were like developing, but when you started working on the film, we were doing a lot of the man-children stuff.
We were doing a lot of man-children, and I think the whole, the themes of the movie, all the emotional themes are very real, and a lot of the awakening and stuff was very real. Like, you were there that whole time, that process, and you were one of the people in my life, if not like the first person who was like, oh, you can be weird and like express yourself authentically and it's totally fine. Like, that didn't really happen when I was growing up, and that's like such a really special thing. And so you're really tied to that. But in terms of like the other characters, I'd say Peanut Butter Sparkle is like sort of the feminine energy or whatever that I feel inside that I was not able to express when I was younger. And so it was, and I didn't really realize that when I was making it, and I realized it later. And it's also like just different people I've known in my life who've like pushed me, and I was like not ready for it, but I had to kind of go with the flow. And then Prince Purpleton is very much like, you know, when you're younger, you're shy and you don't talk, but then when you get the chance, you are, you know, a charismatic person with a Brooklyn accent. Sarah did.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that answered the question. So much of this, it has people in your life, actual people in your life, and places that you frequent. Show and Tell is a great community that, for those of you who don't know, it's a show in Silver Lake that Seth would host.
Hey everybody, welcome to Show and Tell!
And Maddie frequently shows videos, all cut from real life. That was such an important part of your life while making this. I think, Katie, you have kind of an interesting perspective on this, because we're friends for a long time, and I asked you to join the project. You had never been to Show and Tell. You did not know the community. And then you did the project. We went to Slam Dance. You saw the film. You met everyone. And now you go to the screenings regularly and have become kind of a part of that community. What is it like being on the outside of something that is fictional, that you've read in a script, that you've performed on a microphone, and then you get to fully immerse yourself in that afterwards?
I think, first of all, it's just such a great community that it's like the people who frequent Show and Tell become your best friends sort of instantly, and I got to do that at Slam Dance in Utah with you all. But going to any last Friday of the month, you are part of the Show and Tell family. We have interns that come work for my business partner and I's company, and we tell them, like, you have to go to Show and Tell. I don't know if any of them have gone. It's my personal mission.
Well.
It is a familial experience in a city full of lost people. And it's a testament to you all who have made it such a solid foundation, and it really comes through in the film, most specifically the animals.
There are a lot of rodents
Very
in
true.
that.
Yeah.
So one final question before we open it up to the audience. Dimitri, you know, you create such a beautiful sound to this film, and it's balanced, right? You had to balance between a fantasy world and Silver Lake and kind of a bleak moment in Maddie's life. Talk about the struggles and the collaboration that you guys went through to find that sound.
Yeah, I mean, I actually met Maddie at Show and Tell like 6 years ago or something, which is just so crazy to think about. And we became friends over the course of making the movie. And so, you know, the first thing I saw from the movie was in like 2018, I think, which was just the first couple of scenes. And I scored it with a piece of music that I'd had bumping around in my head for years and years. And it just found its way into the film, and then that theme got developed. And then I realized what a massive, beautiful undertaking this movie was, and the score was just able to grow and evolve as it went along. It was really cool because the journey of our friendship, and we've become so close, mirrored the journey of this film evolving and the music for it evolving. And then the score actually ends with that same music that we heard at the very beginning of the film that was written so long ago, back in 2018, and just brought it full circle in this really beautiful moment.
Yeah, and one more thing off of that. The credits music was, I was at Dimitri's house just doing a spotting session or something, and I was filming him without him knowing, like creepily behind him, and I put that in the credits because I thought it was so beautiful, and I showed it to him, and he was like, I forgot I made that. I made that for the movie, and I totally forgot about it. So I'm glad I captured that.
I had literally written it the morning before you got there, and I was just like, what do you think about this thing? And then it's in the movie.
You're also represented as a cat creature, you're playing the piano in Peter Sparkle's Underground Home.
The one with the glasses. That's
Okay, let's open it up to the crowd.
We'll make these animations that are glorious and beautiful, and if they're for like Comedy Central or something, I'll sometimes see them on the internet, and I'll give Maddie a call and be like, why'd you publish this without playing at a show and tell? We have an agreement, everything you do has to play at show and tell.
Talk about that.
There was a unicorn throwing up that you made as a short for, I think it was Comedy Central, they were doing a digital thing, and it looked similar to the main unicorn, but it wasn't the exact one. But that to me, and I don't know if that played at Show and Tell, or that was one of them that I got mad at you for not playing at Show and Tell.
Probably got really
But
mad.
you did play a grotesque heart throwing up at Show and Tell.
Well, the clip in the credits was a grotesque heart of me showing one. It wasn't the same one; it was a different one. And I made that one in 2017, so I might have.
Yeah. There's a.
Do you want to talk about the process that you went through in this film?
Well, it's not that big a deal. But I do remember when Maddie said to me after Show and Tell, I think I'm going to make a feature film. And you just started going through it, and it was so neat getting to see these little snack animations at each Show and Tell while the big one was being worked on. But during COVID, basically, I recorded my voice in a closet. Nothing romantic, nothing cool or anything. But it was for something
It's a
cool.
little romantic.
That was a lot of people's experience. I mean, most of this was recorded in COVID, in closets. Maria Bamford did it like on the road in a closet. Patton Oswalt did his entire piece in like 25 minutes from his home studio. But just everyone did it remote. We did everything, we did everything over Zoom, and everyone just sent files over. We barely saw each other.
And that's how I like it.
Big time. Separation.
Please call me sometime.
There was a recording session that we did with you, and Cindy was there, and I remember that being so much fun, but I also felt like I'd rather be in a closet. Because I was
the heat really gets you in the mood to feel sad.
I remember banging my head on Maddie. I went to Maddie's closet and was banging my head to try to make it in the bathroom. But I remember being at the recording studio, and it felt like so professional that I was like, I'm gonna mess this up. I don't mess it up when I'm in a closet. I got as many takes as I want. But also outside there was a unicorn on a billboard right outside the studio. I remember that. I remember it was fortuitous.
Yeah, I spent $40,000 just to plant the seed.
On the billboard?
Yeah, I wanted everyone to believe in the vision. I wanted everyone to go on the journey. Yeah,
Maddie
a lot of
could have
money.
used that money actually.
I know.
Actually make the movie.
I know. I gave it to a really, really, really evil company. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
I love the film. I love your animation style, and I'm just curious. Like, I want to know some of your live action or animated inspirations. I got like maybe some Alice in Wonderland in terms of story, like real world fantasy world. So you just kind of dive into that.
Yeah, have you seen that film where the train goes towards the audience? I think my inspiration is a mixture of very weird cartoons, like the weirdest possible, the ones where a lot of people, it makes them uncomfortable, and I'm like, well, sorry, I don't know. It's what I wanted to make. But also people like them, so it's confusing. Anyway, then there's also like the very intense indie movies that also make you very uncomfortable and hurt a lot. I think it's the movies where people are so honest with feelings and have no guard. So many people who make movies don't know themselves, so they're not good because they don't know how to communicate feelings. Obviously, you have to like be so honest, and then that's what people connect to. And I think you can do that through indie movies, and you can also like not indie, but like thoughtful pieces, whatever you want to call them. And then you can do it through really, really weird animation. And weird animation is the best way for people to get out their emotions because you can show whatever you want. You can put a monster face. But that wasn't your question at all. So the stuff that I liked was SpongeBob and love anime.
Yeah, I remember in the coffee shop, Maddie was like, I'm going through this phase of all I want to do is animate action sequences from anime. And I was like, oh great, we're in an anime phase right now. Like, I'm not a huge anime fan, but...
That's the scene where I tell you about yoga.
yeah, like, oh, yoga. No, but then Maddie would show me these action sequences, and I was like, this is awesome.
Anime's cool.
Am I in love with anime now? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It made me question a lot of what
I know, this movie made Seth question a lot of
Truly.
things, and that's what my goal was to just question his existence.
I think goals are important. Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now I'm good because these are all my friends. It is very funny to sit in front of your friends and talk about your work like this, but I guess that's what show and tell is. This is still longer show and tell. It's been really tough. Most of the screenings I got very emotional and cried, and because people react differently. Some places, I've probably sat in like 10 theaters and watched it at this point, and sometimes people aren't vocal as much, sometimes people don't seem like they like it as much, other times seem like they're really into it. Sometimes there's people I know, sometimes there's not. When we showed it at Slam Dance, that was like one of the coolest things ever, because like after I showed the movie, I was walking to the front and I was like so emotional, and all the people that were in it were there, or a lot of people. Mark wasn't there.
Wow, called out!
Was everybody there? I'm the only one who wasn't there.
You guys all remember when Mark wasn't there?
Mark, why were you there? I still have your beanie to give to you.
No, you gave that to me.
Oh, I did, okay.
Katie LeClaire in the clutch. That is timing, Katie. Wow.
A lot of us hadn't seen it.
Yeah,
At Slam Dance, it was a premiere, the first time it had ever been screened, and it was also, I mean, I don't know if y'all saw it. I mean, Dimitri probably saw it. He had to.
About 100,000 times.
Dimitri did a lot of guessing and like nailed it. Like nailed the guesses.
like you can't see it.
How he did that. But it was emotional for, I think, I mean, I got really emotional, but that's such a great question because I remember being at some of the screenings and being like, how are you feeling right now?
I was like, terrible. One of the things Canada, we showed it at Ottawa Animation Festival, and I was really depressed, like that whole festival. And you were there, and Nancy was there, who's also here, who's in the movie. Yeah, Nancy. That's the softest compliment. Anyway, I was really depressed, and I was having a hard time watching it, and during the Q&A, I was like, I did a Chapel Roan, and I was like, guys, I'm not doing so well. And, or Machine Gun Kelly, if anyone knows that one, on the Drew Barrymore show. Thank you. And I was like, I'm not doing so well, and they were very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable.
They were all like animators,
Yeah.
which, not to knock you guys, but animators are weird. No, I'm
That's just
joking.
because you know me.
Yeah.
And so at the Slam Dance screening, I was walking to the front, and Seth stood up, or was standing up, and I hugged him, and his eyes were so red because he was crying. And it was the sweetest moment of my life, I think.
Oh,
Because
funny. You weren't supposed to
I
see
hadn't
that.
shown it to you. See, he's tough with emotions, this one. I hadn't shown it to you at all, and it was just so sweet to see that you were like crying at the end.
It's an incredible emotional thing, and I think the vulnerability that you like just ripped open, and I think can be like, we talk about this all the time where we're like, is this vulnerability cringe or is it worthy of an art? Like, like there's a fine line that we toe where we're like, how much do you open up in your art? Is it worth it, or are they gonna look at it and be like, wow, they really opened up, you know? And I remember the way you displayed like my character, it made me feel like I was like, oh man, I do need to work on the oblivion that I am sometimes.
I felt so bad when you told me that.
But
that was not my intention.
It's so good because I have been trying to do better like with stuff like that, but also it shows a guy who is trying really hard, even when it's physically like he hurts himself or like whatever. But yeah, it like that was so awesome for you. You didn't have to do that. Like I could have been a Jar Jar Binks, you know, like that guy. What a loser that guy. Like he has no redeem. He wasn't trying that hard. He's just a total loser.
Can you imagine if Jar Jar Binks was so emotionally intelligent?
But they painted this guy as trying. I think that got me. I was like, Maddie's really going through this like really good friend that I was like, I don't know, I get emotional every time I watch it because it's not just personal for you, it's personal to me, but I think anyone who's going through a similar story that they don't have the words to say, or I think this gender identity right now is like, there's no rule book for it, especially. And I think that was what you're making this movie where you're like, I definitely didn't have parents that taught me how to navigate this. They didn't even tell me how to navigate normal feelings, much less confusing feelings, you know? And so that's how I relate. I was like, it's amazing to make something while you're going through something. And so I was like, I don't know, I'm like so proud of you for that. Like, it takes a lot.
Yeah. Bill, do you have time for a couple of more questions? Also, Bill, are you here? Okay, we can do whatever we want. Yeah.
There's so many elements that are so fun and wild and silly and goofy, which we love. And then we also hear the struggle end of it. So I have a two-part question. What was like the most fun or your favorite creature or element to animate?
I think that's tough because there were so many over the years. I think the ones that are more, I like animating squishy things. I don't know why, but it's my favorite thing, and it's what I can do all day, every day. If anyone wants to give me $1 million, me and Neil will make the Squish Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
So any of the squishy creatures I loved,
Yeah.
like the one that like is the two people together, and then it goes like that. I like that one a lot. I like the fish bug thing a lot.
Kristen Sanchez and Marshall Gibbons.
Oh my God! Is Sean here?
Sean is, yeah.
Sean plays the fish bug thing, and Kristen and Marshall play the deer and the llama. Yeah. And then Neil plays the freaking bug. Isn't the bug the one that says hi?
Hi. All right.
All right.
What part of that was you?
What part of what?
What part of the bug was you?
That was you.
Yeah.
That was you.
That's what I am.
And also Neil played the annoying guard and the annoying neighbor.
I don't like the fact that you're using adjectives to describe these characters.
But I said, you said that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, but the credits didn't say annoying in front of either one of those character names. You added that just
I actually thought they had some pretty good points, right?
All right, yeah, okay. Was there more? Or
I can talk
What
more
was the
about
hard
it.
one that
Yeah, what was the frustrating?
Oh, the hard one was the face animations, because it was a creature on its own, because there was a glitch where I would animate something, and it would change the size and it wouldn't go back, and I would have to undo everything, and it would just glitch all over the place, and my computer was broken, and I almost did something.
Yeah, we didn't ever talk about how Maddie animated most of this film on a laptop that didn't have a working screen. It was like broken down the middle of it and like was black on half of it.
the screen was
It was
cracked.
glitching,
It was
like the
straight
glitching.
up cracked.
Yeah.
So that's insane.
It was not. It's not a fun story because it actually hurt a lot, and I had to move it like this to like fix it.
It would turn back on if you
It is a
yanked it
fun
around. Yeah.
And you had no air conditioner.
Yeah.
There
I had
were a lot of
I had a
things.
mobile one, but I had direct sunlight. Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
So, would you do this process again, where you animate a film all by yourself?
No, I would not. I hope we don't have to do that again.
Never
We
again.
want to make a bunch of other projects, but we can't do that again.
Yeah, no, that's a, listen, when you want to get on the map, make a project, put something out into the world, you put your all into it. You did do that, but that's not a sustainable way to live. There was a lot that, Maddie is opening their heart and telling you, but like, truly, taxing both physically and emotionally. I probably would, I would physically stop you from animating another. I would hold you 24 hours a day as a guard. No more animating this. That was a very taxing process, mentally and physically for Maddie. So
don't do it.
No, but like do it once. Like fully immerse yourself in your art and do it. And if it means a lot to you.
Or go to a therapist before you start.
Katie has some
I just wanted to talk about the first time that you, Neil, talked about Maddie. Because I was invited actually to a show and tell screening. If there are show and tell frequenters, it's the only one that ever happened inside. It was the one that happened, and it was years and years ago, right? And Neil said, hey, I don't really know this group of people, but they seem really great, and I really want you to meet this person who's an animator, and we've decided that we're going to make this project together. It was very early on in the two of you's process, and something that I know about Neil Gargiulo is that you're the biggest cheerleader for the people that you love in the entire world. But I had never really seen you embrace somebody like you did Maddie. I think that you saw the vision and the potential right away. And just now when you were like, you want to make a splash, you got to do it yourself, kind of. And what's really beautiful is that I know a lot of the time it felt like it was like really isolating and you were by yourself, but like I've gotten to see your group of friends rally behind you and gotten to see how much they were there for you in the process. And Neil was right, he usually is, but it just is really beautiful to see something that started as like, hey, maybe this is an idea that we could do together, to a screening full of these wonderful people, and it's all because of your talent and the story that you wanted to tell and how relatable it is. And I think that it's a message that a lot of people need to hear, that like it's okay to be weird, and you just gotta find the people around you who will support you to be your weirdest.
Exactly, that's so sweet. I finished animating this 2 years ago, so it's been a while. It was all over the place. I think the shots where we were talking, they were a longer process because we had to write as we were going, and we were recording as we were going, and casting as we were going. And the action scenes would take anywhere between a few days, a week, something like that. And I would kind of jump around based on how I was feeling that day.
I think that was something that was very helpful to the process, was that, it's easy when you're working in a linear fashion to get stuck on something that just takes a long time. We had a spreadsheet, we had individual scenes, we had color coding to see how far along those scenes were. When Maddie was feeling inspired, sometimes it's nice to be able to take a little bit of a breezier scene or something that you feel like you're on path towards completing. So I think that it probably helped to have the options to bounce around a little bit too.
Exactly, and there was a lot of like fixing and tweaking. So it was really all over the map, and I think it's easier to do a project, which you can probably speak to this too, where you're finding the fun in it, and you're like, if this section is not fun that I'm working on, I have to just leave it, even though it's hard to not finish something, and then go to the next thing. And I did that with this movie to the best of my ability, and it was like, I have to keep going no matter what. And yeah.
Well, you did a great job. I think everyone here agrees.